Magic ingredient week continues. Today, red curry paste. It's a great recipe for a red curry with green beans and beef. First thing that I'm gonna do is just cut up some green beans. I have a half a pound of green beans. Line them up so all the tips and the stems are facing one way, cut them off. Just make sure you only cut off the parts you don't want to eat. Don't be wasteful. Once they're all trimmed up, you can cut them in half. You could go in and pick each one by hand, but this is a huge time saver, and I'm all about saving time in the kitchen. Even though I love being in the kitchen, I also like to be efficient. It's only fun if it's efficient, right? Cut 1 pound of sirloin across the grain into really thin strips. It does really help if you do two things. One, have a really sharp knife. Two, chill your meat in the freezer for about a half an hour before you start slicing. It'll firm it up really nicely. Do those two things and it'll make it a lot easier to slice. Trim off any fat that's on there. I mean, I kind of like steak fat, but it's really not that healthy, right? Do yourself a favor. Do your body a favor. I'm just gonna take everything to the stove. I have 2 cups of pineapple cut into cubes. Those green beans, get rid of these little trimmings. You don't need those over there. Let's go. This is what I'm gonna do. I have a hot pan. It's a wok. You can use a cast iron skillet if you want. Tablespoon of oil. Swirl that around. And I'm gonna cook my beef first. I just wanna brown it a little bit. Brown the beef just a tiny bit. Let it sear. Keep your pan as hot as you can. Stir it around once or twice. The goal here is to not overcook your beef, right? So I want to get it a little bit brown, but not completely cooked. It's going to go back into the sauce later. I know. The original recipe has you do it differently. You can do it that way too. I'm just experimenting. It's just a little bit cooked, a little bit browned, and I'm going to take it out now and I'm going to make a sauce. I want my beef to stay nice and tender. There might be a little bit of juice left in the bottom of the wok. You can pour that on top of your meat. And now add just a little bit more oil. This is increasing the oil a little bit, this method. Maybe another tablespoon. To that, add a 1/4 cup of the chili paste, 4 tablespoons, just until it's fragrant. Add your green beans, pineapple, just stir it around a little bit. Let it cook for like a couple minutes. You need some coconut milk and a little bit of stock, so I'm gonna get that ready. 1 cup of unsweetened coconut milk. Make sure it's not sweet, and you can use light if you like. Make sure that it's combined properly. 1 cup, that goes right in here. And then 1.5 cups of chicken stock. I like to use the low sodium so that I have more control over the seasoning. Now I can add it, and it's time to make the simmering sauce. Careful, it's probably gonna steam up a little bit. Scrape up any delicious stuck-on bits. You don't want those to burn and become undelicious. Simmer these babies up. This is rich and delicious. Just let that simmer until the green beans are cooked. That should take, I don't know, 4 to 8 minutes. I have some basil over here that I'm gonna finish the dish with. It's nice and fragrant. Smells like summer. It's one of my favorite smells. I don't know if I've ever told you that before. As much as you want to finish off the dish. Basil's ready. Beef can go back in now. It's a bubbling cauldron of deliciousness in here. It looks so good, but I'm gonna add the beef back in and then just cook it for like 1 minute, maybe 1.5 minutes. That's really good. So complex and yet so simple. Why? Because I used a magic ingredient. Yay! I have some rice that's already cooked. Lucky me, right? A little bowl of rice. Turn this baby off. It's boiled, toiled, and troubled enough. The beef is just cooked through. Spoon it on top. Ah, gourmet Thai food at home. And they did all the work for you by making that curry paste. Give it a little garnish. This is not just for looks, this is for flavor too. Tear the basil over the top of your dish and allow the oils of the basil to like infuse into the dish. I think that looks delightful. It's like gourmet Thai food made at home in absolutely no time. Okay, 15 minutes.